Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed how, as we age, we're often told to drink more water and exercise more for better health and longevity? While those habits are certainly beneficial, the truth is that good health isn't just about hydration and fitness. Everyone has different physical conditions and habits, and as we grow older, our bodies need more than just the basics. Make no mistake, maintaining health in our later years requires a tailored approach that goes beyond the standard advice. Let's dive into 5 essential longevity principles that can truly make a difference for those over 60. If you are not subscribed, I recommend subscribing and activating the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like the topic of this video, please comment 1. If you don't, please comment 0 to let me know how I can improve and make better videos for you. Now let's begin. As people grow older, the lessons learned through life's trials, especially after illness, shape their understanding of what true, wise healthcare means. It becomes abundantly clear that it's so much more than just drinking water and getting some exercise. The real secret to longevity lies in adhering to essential principles that nurture not just the body, but the mind and soul as well. For those who've experienced the physical and emotional toll of illness, the clarity that comes with aging is priceless, offering the wisdom to truly care for oneself. One of the most important principles is the need to maintain good quality sleep. We often underestimate the power of rest, but as we age, we realize that conserving and restoring our energy is not only necessary but vital. Sleep becomes the foundation upon which all our health efforts rest. It is in sleep that our bodies repair, regenerate, and prepare for another day. The idea that a person can function on little sleep is a dangerous myth that many of us learned the hard way. The magic number for most adults is 8 hours a night, a steady rhythm of waking and sleeping that nurtures not only the body, but the spirit. It's especially important to adhere to a regular sleep schedule, avoiding the temptation to stay up late. Late nights lead to hormonal imbalances, weakened immunity, and a mind that struggles to maintain clarity. I've personally found that staying up late robs me of precious hours I could have spent restoring my energy. The traditional wisdom that the time from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. is the hour of the pig, a time when we should retreat from the world and rest, makes perfect sense. It's during these hours, when the world winds down, that our bodies cry out for sleep. Let's not ignore that call. Another principle that resonates deeply is the importance of cultivating a good temper and maintaining a positive attitude, especially in our later years. Life has already taught us so many lessons, and as we age, we begin to see that holding on to negativity only weighs us down further. In my own experience, it became painfully clear that when I allowed negativity to take root, it only bred more negativity. But when I chose to approach life with a positive attitude, even in the face of adversity, I felt lighter, more capable, and ultimately more at peace. It's not always easy, after all. We've lived through so much, but holding on to a relaxed perspective can transform any hardship into something more manageable. A negative mood not only darkens the mind, but can lead to physical ailments, which only creates more stress. It's a vicious cycle that we have the power to break by simply choosing to nurture a calm and optimistic outlook. Furthermore, we must care for our digestive health. Aging brings its challenges, and one of the most crucial is maintaining a healthy digestive system. I have come to realize that what we put into our bodies has a profound impact on how we feel and how well we function. It's not about deprivation, but about making smart choices that honor our bodies. I try to limit fast food and processed snacks, knowing they can wreak havoc on my gut. Instead, I choose fresh, wholesome foods that nourish me, like vegetables, fish, and lean meats. I've learned the importance of eating smaller portions, stopping when I'm about 80% full. It's not about indulgence, it's about moderation and balance, which are key to longevity. And let's not forget that our weight plays a critical role in our overall health. Maintaining a healthy weight means giving your body the best chance to thrive as you age. As we age, the wear and tear on our bodies can often lead to joint and bone issues, so it's imperative to maintain healthy bones and joints. The reality of osteoporosis and joint pain becomes painfully clear as we grow older. I've seen how easily a simple fall or bump can have lasting consequences, and it's terrifying. So keeping my bones strong through regular calcium intake, vitamin D, and careful attention to my body's needs has become a non-negotiable part of my life. Getting sunlight isn't just a nice bonus, it's essential for helping my body absorb calcium, which in turn strengthens my bones. I remind myself that prevention is always better than treatment, and protecting my joints today will ensure that I don't face debilitating pain tomorrow. Lastly, investing in your health properly is a principle I've come to embrace with deep conviction. As I age, I understand that my health is my most precious asset. It's not just about taking a pill here or there, but about investing in my health proactively. Regular checkups, screenings for potential health risks, and being informed about what is and isn't healthy for me are the things that can make all the difference in catching issues early and preventing more serious problems down the line. It's easy to brush off small health concerns, but I've learned that ignoring them only invites bigger problems. And there's no greater investment I can make than in my well-being. The money spent on healthcare is never wasted. It's an investment in my future, one that will hopefully bring me many more years of peace, joy, and vitality. In her way, one woman's journey toward a more fulfilling and active retirement beautifully illustrates these principles. After the loss of her husband, she was initially overwhelmed with the idea of loneliness and moved in with her children. While she appreciated the support at first, she soon realized that being constantly surrounded by family wasn't as fulfilling as she had imagined. Conflicts arose due to generational differences, and after a heated argument with her son, she decided to return to her own home. This decision wasn't an easy one, but it was the right one. She realized that part of true happiness in retirement was about creating boundaries, not just for others, but for herself. She had spent so many years caring for everyone else, but now it was time to focus on her peace. At nearly 70, she embraced the idea of spending her later years with more intention, stepping back from family dynamics and carving out space for herself. Her story is a poignant reminder that as we age, it's not only our health that deserves attention, but our emotional and mental well-being too. The constant need to interfere in our children's lives or solve their problems can drain our happiness. There's wisdom in stepping back, in allowing them the space to grow and live their own lives. She came across a street interview where a woman of her age explained that while she still cared for her children, she no longer felt the need to be overly involved. Her children were grown, and it was time for them to learn to stand on their own. This mindset shift brought her a peace she had never known before. She realized that just like her children needed room to mature and navigate their struggles. She was no longer the one to solve everything. Instead, she began to invest more in herself, focusing on her happiness and the things that brought her joy. As she embraced this newfound freedom, her life became richer and her outlook brighter. Instead of worrying about things beyond her control, she chose to nurture her interests, to live her retirement on her terms. Her journey reminds us all that it's never too late to choose peace, invest in our well-being, and let go of unnecessary burdens. In the end, that's what makes retirement truly fulfilling. Not the absence of challenges, but the wisdom to navigate them with grace and love. A recent topic on social media caught her attention, one that deeply resonated with her, about the complex and often challenging dynamics between mothers-in-law and daughters-in-law. A young woman named Tran shared her experience, revealing the frustration of having her parents-in-law constantly interfere with her and her husband's parenting decisions. Her in-laws, particularly her mother-in-law, would always express concern over the smallest details, convinced that the young couple lacked the necessary life experience to raise their children properly. One instance stood out in Tran's mind. Her husband had come home late and she was overwhelmed with household chores and trying to manage the child. In desperation, she asked her parents-in-law to play with their grandchild for a bit. Instead of helping, they scolded her for allowing the child to stay up late, insisting that it would harm the child's health. To her frustration, this was not an isolated incident. Tran's mother-in-law, when living with her son and his family, had constantly interfered with raising the grandchildren. When the grandchildren showed any interest in something, she'd pamper them, but if they disobeyed, she scolded them loudly, creating unnecessary tension in the household. She was imposing rules that often contradicted what her son and his wife had set for their children. Looking back now, Tran realized that her mother-in-law's overbearing involvement in her grandchildren's upbringing was more of a hindrance than a help. As difficult as it was to admit, she understood that using her seniority to influence how others raised their children had caused more harm than good. It was a bitter truth, but one that brought clarity, especially after they had moved out. When family members fail to share responsibilities and fail to respect boundaries, maintaining peace becomes a far-reaching challenge. And so, when Tran's mother-in-law decided to stop meddling in the way her son and his wife raised their children, she found an unexpected sense of ease and relief. The realization was profound. True harmony in families comes not from imposing one's values, but from respecting others' choices, even when those choices differ from your own. In her case, after her husband passed away, she faced an incredibly difficult decision, one that her friends were shocked by. Many of them feared that she would experience loneliness in her later years if she chose to live alone. But despite their concerns, she decided to return to her old home. The thought of living with her children and grandchildren might seem comforting, and certainly it would offer the constant chatter and presence that some see as antidotes to loneliness. However, she came to realize that when the way of life and viewpoints between generations clash, living together could easily become a source of emotional suffocation. She experienced firsthand the tension that arises when individual preferences and perspectives clash. Being surrounded by family didn't guarantee happiness. It often brought frustration and a sense of being stifled. It wasn't that she didn't love her family, she did, more than anything, but she needed space to breathe, to live on her terms, and to enjoy her own company without the constant judgment of others. And so, she chose to live alone, a decision that surprised many, but was undeniably the best for her. After moving out, she took it upon herself to make new friends, especially through senior clubs. These were communities of like-minded individuals, older adults like her, who shared common interests and life experiences. They met regularly, and she found deep joy in these exchanges, talking, laughing, and offering each other support. Her children, respectful of her decision, also visited her occasionally, and they maintained a close relationship, one built on mutual respect rather than proximity. For her, this balance of independence and family connection was exactly what she needed. Life wasn't about being tethered to the idea of constant familial proximity. It was about finding peace, finding joy, and living according to one's rhythms. She learned that loneliness wasn't defined by physical proximity to family. It was the lack of meaningful connection and the absence of personal fulfillment that truly caused loneliness. By seeking out friends, engaging in new hobbies, and living on her terms, she found a deep sense of peace. The notion that retirement should be a time of solitude and sadness when not living with children and grandchildren was something she vehemently disagreed with. What truly mattered was creating a balance between her personal life and her family life, ensuring both brought her comfort and joy. She also realized that focusing on her own life, rather than gossiping or comparing herself to others, was crucial. She admitted that she hadn't always been this way, but as she grew older, she understood that constantly turning others' stories into gossip did nothing but drain her energy. In her 60s, she let go of the need to judge others and instead focused on cultivating positivity and joy in her own life. It was an act of self-care, a necessary step in emotional growth. This shift in perspective allowed her to experience life more fully without the burden of judgment or unnecessary comparisons. Her journey to peace reminded her of Mr. Trong, a man who, at the age of 65, decided to live with his son after facing difficulties in his own home. At first, it seemed like a reasonable solution, moving in with his son for support and comfort after the death of his wife. After all, it would be easier for him to overcome the grief with family close by. But what seemed like a relief quickly turned into a series of emotional conflicts, especially with his daughter-in-law. The differences between his way of life and theirs became glaringly evident. From bedtime habits to lifestyle choices, the final straw was an argument over a broken vase, which led to a major falling out. His son's comment, "It's just a vase, buy another one," made Mr. Trong realize just how far apart he and his son had drifted in terms of values and understanding. That moment was a wake-up call. He realized that despite the love he had for his family, he could not ignore the significant emotional gap between them. Living with his son wasn't the solution he thought it would be. It was a difficult realization, but one that led him to understand that true peace in life comes not from proximity to family, but from finding emotional harmony with those around you. I often reflect on the simple life my wife and I once shared. especially now that my children pursue a more modern, materialistic lifestyle. There's a subtle pain in watching them live with the hustle and bustle of city life, chasing after comfort and luxury. But as the years pass, I've come to understand that to truly live comfortably and peacefully in my later years, I can't rely on anyone else. I must depend on myself. The realization hit me like a wave, forcing me to face the truth that I needed to adapt and harmonize with the changing world around me. This was the turning point, where I began adjusting my mindset, not just about my life, but about my place in it. I started making deliberate efforts to bridge the gap between my lifestyle and that of the younger generation. I immersed myself in technology, learning how to use smartphones and computers to stay informed and keep up with trends. At first, it was intimidating, but over time, it became empowering. Technology wasn't just for the younger generation. It was a tool I could use to enhance my own life as well. I also found solace in joining local senior groups in my neighborhood. These gatherings were not just about socializing, but about finding meaningful connections with like-minded individuals. We shared stories, hobbies, and experiences, things that enriched my life in ways I hadn't expected. I realized that by surrounding myself with people who understood my journey, I could still lead a fulfilling and joyful life without it revolving solely around my children and grandchildren. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment one below to let me know that you are still here with me. Along with this transformation in my lifestyle, I also learned how to communicate more effectively with my son's family. In the past, I had been stubborn, unwilling to bend or compromise, thinking my way was always the right way. But now, I understand that everyone has their habits, values, and ways of doing things. To live harmoniously with my son's family, I had to let go of my rigidness and learn to be more tolerant. We have different approaches to life, but with time, I learned to respect their choices. I started opening up to them and sharing my thoughts and feelings more freely, and as a result, our relationship became more harmonious. We no longer clashed as often, and I began to appreciate the peaceful moments spent together. Though the pain of losing my wife still lingers, I've learned that life moves forward, and I must move with it. I now live with the beautiful memories of the past, but I also face the challenges of the future with optimism and grace. As the years have passed, I've come to deeply understand some of life's most essential truths. In old age, we must rely on ourselves, both emotionally and physically. We can't keep leaning on our children or let others dictate the course of our lives. We must have the courage to step outside our comfort zones and embrace the opportunities that old age offers. Only by doing so can we experience a truly colorful and meaningful life in our later years. I've learned that living wisely in my senior years means being mindful of my finances, living modestly, and focusing on what truly matters. A perfect example of living wisely and happily in later years is Mrs. Dong, a 65-year-old woman who leads a life that many would envy. Despite not being wealthy, she lives every day with joy and fulfillment. After the passing of her husband a few years ago, Mrs. Dong's children became independent, and she found herself with the freedom to live on her terms. Each day she spends time in her small garden, planting vegetables and caring for her plants. In the afternoon, she enjoys sitting by the window, watching the world go by and chatting with friends. Her life is simple yet rich in meaning and joy. Mrs. Dong's secret to happiness lies in her minimalist lifestyle. She's learned the value of having less and living with more intention. She's freed herself from the clutter that can weigh us down both physically and emotionally. Minimalism, though it's often seen as just a trend, has become a powerful philosophy for Mrs. Dong. She's embraced the principle of less is more and focuses on quality, not quantity. Her home is tidy and well organized, and she only keeps things that serve a purpose in her life. She doesn't waste money on unnecessary items or luxurious products that don't bring real value. She knows that when it comes to health, what matters most is the nutrients we consume, not the price tag of the food. She believes in enjoying simple, nutritious meals, fresh fruits, vegetables, and the kind of food that nourishes the body. She's found that it's the ordinary foods from local markets that provide the best nutrition, not the fancy delicacies that are often promoted as symbols of wealth. Health, after all, is not about indulgence, but about balance. For Mrs. Dong, her health is her wealth, and she prioritizes it above all else. Another valuable lesson I've learned, one that Mrs. Dong exemplifies so well, is that relationships must also be carefully managed, especially in our later years. Over the years, I've encountered people who've only reached out when they needed something from me. It's a tough realization to accept, but I've learned to filter my relationships, focusing on those who genuinely care about me. At this stage in life, I no longer have the energy or desire to entertain toxic relationships or allow others to drain my emotional reserves. I've learned to set boundaries, and when I feel that a relationship is becoming one-sided or stressful, I simply redirect my attention. Not every relationship needs to be severed, but I've learned to cherish the ones that bring positivity into my life, while gracefully letting go of those that don't. In the end, living a fulfilling old age is not about pampering ourselves or indulging in extravagance. It's about living wisely, making thoughtful choices, and prioritizing what truly matters. It's about finding joy in the small, simple moments and nurturing the relationships that bring us peace. As I continue to navigate the later years of my life, I am reminded that health, happiness, and contentment come not from wealth or possessions, but from living with intention, from caring for oneself, and from embracing the changes that come with age. Timely and professional attention to one's health becomes increasingly important as we age. Individuals over 60 need to embrace the changes that come with aging and adapt their lifestyles accordingly in a way that supports their current health and well-being. Take Mr. Lee, for instance. He is 70 years old, and while he maintained healthy habits such as drinking enough water and exercising regularly in his 60s, those habits slowed considerably as he entered his 70s. His daughter constantly reminds him to exercise and drink more water every day, but Mr. Lee has his reasons for resisting. "I'm already 70, he says. I can't be like when I was younger. If I drink more water now, I have to go to the bathroom every hour, and it keeps me up at night." He also shares concerns about his knees, saying that they no longer allow him to walk without pain and prevent him from exercising in the same way he once did. His situation is one that many of us can relate to as we age. Even though health experts advise more water intake and regular exercise, Mr. Lee's physical limitations reflect a truth that many elderly individuals face. Health and longevity aren't always achieved by pushing your body beyond its limits. It's essential to remember that good health habits go beyond just drinking water and exercising. Every person is different, and as we grow older, we encounter more physical limitations. For seniors with poor kidney or heart health, it's crucial to adjust one's lifestyle to better suit the needs of the body. This is especially true for those over 60, who might find that their bodies don't respond to the same routines they had in their younger years. The goal isn't necessarily to drink more water or exercise more, but to adopt practices that nurture health while respecting the body's limits. To live healthfully and longer, seniors should follow 5 key principles that focus on balance, self-care, and realistic expectations. First and foremost, a good night's sleep is vital. It's not just about quantity, it's about the quality of the rest you get. As we age, we must learn to balance exercise with rest, understanding that moderation is key. Ensuring that we get enough quality sleep each night can do wonders for the immune system, hormone regulation, and even lifespan. For older adults, establishing a habit of going to bed early, waking up, maintaining a consistent sleep schedule, and ensuring that sleep is restful and rejuvenating are essential. The goal should be to wake up feeling refreshed, without waking up in the middle of the night or relying on sleeping pills to get proper rest. After all, sleep is not just a luxury, it's the foundation of our health. If you're still watching this video and find these tips helpful, please comment number 3 below. I appreciate you taking the time to watch this with me. It means a lot to me. Another principle is to maintain a positive mindset. It's easy to fall into the trap of self-pity or frustration as we age, especially when health issues arise. However, it's crucial not to push ourselves too hard or try to live as we did in our younger years. Many elderly people, despite physical discomfort, push themselves to exercise excessively, thinking it's the only way to stay healthy. But this can do more harm than good, particularly for those with heart conditions or other chronic illnesses. For those over 60, the key is to find joy each day, accept our age, and reduce unnecessary stress. Let go of the stubbornness and embrace the reality that we cannot do everything we once could. This acceptance opens the door to a more peaceful, fulfilling life, free from constant worry about health or family matters. It's also important to slow down after 60. Our bodies change, and agility naturally declines as we get older, but slowing down doesn't equate to decline, it's simply a natural part of aging. We should take more time with daily activities like getting out of bed, eating, and exercising. Gentle movement, mindful eating, and gradual waking up are not signs of weakness, but signs of wisdom and self-care. It's about acknowledging that our bodies need a different kind of care and attention now, rather than pushing them too hard to maintain the pace of our youth. Life at this pace allows us to truly appreciate each moment without rushing through it. It's also wise to avoid stimulants such as smoking or excessive alcohol after 60. These habits are harmful at any age, but as we age, the toll they take on our bodies becomes even more pronounced. Our greatest wish in our later years is often to stay healthy, not to indulge in temporary pleasures that will only harm our health in the long run. If we focus on maintaining good health, we can enjoy life without becoming a burden to our children and loved ones. Our golden years should be filled with joy, not with the consequences of poor health choices. Adopting a healthy, balanced diet is another essential principle. Older adults should focus on eating fresh, nutritious food that supports overall well-being. This means avoiding junk food, such as fried, pickled, or overly processed foods, and instead opting for regular, balanced meals. Meat, fish, and plenty of vegetables provide the nutrients needed to keep the body strong. While it may be tempting to spend money on expensive supplements, it's important to remember that supplements often provide minimal benefits, and what we truly need is a well-rounded diet that focuses on whole, unprocessed foods. Finally, a longer life does not always equate to more happiness. Many of us often think that if we live longer, we'll naturally be happier. However, research suggests that happiness peaks between the ages of 65 and 70. This age range seems to be a sweet spot where we have enough life experience to appreciate what truly matters, but still have the physical and mental energy to enjoy it. The key to happiness in older age is not just about living longer, but living wisely, making choices that align with our well-being, and savoring the moments that truly bring us joy. In summary, the journey through our later years requires more than just physical health practices. It's about finding balance between rest and activity, acceptance and action, joy and simplicity. By adapting our mindset, lifestyle, and relationships, we can create a fulfilling and meaningful life no matter what age we are. There are 3 key reasons why happiness in later years doesn't depend solely on longevity. First, retirees no longer face the pressure and competition of the working world, which frees them from the stress of deadlines, performance evaluations, and the constant push to prove themselves. Instead, they can shift their focus towards mental health, seeking inner peace and finding joy in the simplicity of life. These individuals, enriched by experience, know how to treasure every moment, appreciating the small things that younger people often overlook in their rush to achieve more. Importantly, this doesn't mean they stop growing, far from it. Older adults continue to explore the world around them with a mature attitude, relying on their wisdom to enhance their happiness. They've reached a point in life where the pressure to keep up fades, and instead, they embrace a more meaningful, intentional way of living. Their happiness teaches us an invaluable lesson. Age does not limit the ability to live a fulfilling life. Happiness is not confined to the young or the fast-paced nature of the modern world. It can often be found in the quiet moments, like sipping a cup of tea on a peaceful afternoon, rather than in the frantic race for success. For many older adults, happiness is built on 2 key pillars: having financial security and maintaining good health. The happiest people in this age group have found a way to balance these 2 aspects. Many have accumulated enough savings that financial concerns no longer dominate their thoughts, and instead, their focus shifts to their health, because they understand that without health, wealth loses its meaning. At this stage in life, older adults no longer place their worth in material possessions. Instead, they prioritize their health and the time they spend with loved ones. They've learned to strike a balance between their personal life and any remaining responsibilities, and unlike younger individuals who often dive headfirst into their careers, they seek to enrich their lives with activities that provide meaning and joy. Life for them is not a race to the finish line, but rather an ongoing adventure, and they are savoring every moment of it. Happiness for them is no longer about ticking off accomplishments, but about living with a sense of purpose and fulfillment. With decades of life experience, they've gained the wisdom to appreciate the richness of the journey, regardless of its bumps along the way. A Vietnamese saying encapsulates this beautifully: the older the ginger, the spicier it becomes. As people age, they gain a broader perspective and deeper wisdom, allowing them to handle life's challenges with patience and grace. Having weathered the storms of life, older individuals know not to let small issues bother them. Instead, they approach problems with a calm, tolerant mindset, understanding that every challenge is an opportunity for growth. Their emotional resilience and ability to find peace in the face of adversity are qualities that can only be cultivated with time. Moreover, older adults understand the value of separation in relationships. At this stage, they no longer seek superficial connections, but cherish the bonds they share with family and close friends. They know that these relationships are worth more than any material wealth, and they make time to nurture them. This shift in priorities, from chasing wealth to focusing on what truly matters, is a vital component of their happiness. They've come to realize that happiness is not found in what we accumulate, but in the connections we build and the experiences we share with those we love. The knowledge that older adults possess is not just academic, but experiential. Their awareness of life's fleeting nature is profound, and it teaches younger generations an important lesson: the need to slow down and appreciate life in depth. Happiness is not about the quantity of years we live, but how we live each day. It is a choice to live with intention, to savor the moments, and to embrace life's challenges as opportunities for growth. A study published in the Journal of the American Medical Association, conducted by scientist Brian Mann S., highlights a crucial transition period for individuals between the ages of 55 and 65. This decade can significantly determine one's future health and longevity. After 55, women experience a decline in health and physical function, with conditions such as diabetes, hypertension, cardiovascular disease, and osteoporosis becoming more common. For men, issues like sleep disorders, loss of appetite, and muscle loss become increasingly prevalent. The risk of diseases like cancer and diabetes also rises during this period. Those between 55 and 65 must maintain healthy habits to improve their chances of living a long, healthy life. These habits are foundational for the rest of their years. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights helpful, please comment number 1 below. Your support and engagement means so much to me, and I'm grateful for the time you've spent learning with me. Now let's talk about 4 habits that research has shown to be beneficial for longevity. Adequate protein intake is one of the most important factors for maintaining health as we age. A study by Newcastle University in the UK found that people aged 85 who consumed sufficient protein were healthier and less prone to illness than those who didn't meet their daily protein requirements. As we age, muscle mass naturally declines, which can lead to weakness and reduced mobility. Maintaining muscle strength is crucial for staying healthy as we age. Protein also plays a key role in disease prevention, immune function, and overall well-being. Dr. Florence, an associate professor of medicine in New York, recommends that individuals consume at least 1 gram of protein per kilogram of body weight to preserve muscle mass. Healthy sources of protein for older adults include meat, fish, eggs, dairy products, lentils, beans, tofu, and nuts. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 2 below to let me know that you are still here with me. Moderate exercise is a cornerstone of maintaining health as we age. Just like consuming enough protein, regular physical activity plays a crucial role in preserving muscle mass, preventing bone diseases, and enhancing overall well-being. Research has shown that long-lived individuals, particularly those in China, engage in moderate but diverse physical activities to protect their health and avoid injuries. This isn't about pushing oneself to extremes, it's about consistency and moderation. Studies reveal that regular exercise can reduce the risk of premature death by up to 41%. Beyond longevity, it has profound health benefits, especially for older adults. Regular physical activity helps increase bone density, lower blood sugar levels, stabilize blood pressure, and reduce the risk of developing cognitive issues like dementia. This form of balanced movement supports the body in ways that protect against chronic diseases and improve mental clarity, ensuring that seniors maintain vitality and strength as they grow older. Another surprising yet effective habit for longevity is the consumption of dark chocolate. Unlike its sweeter counterpart, milk chocolate, dark chocolate contains 70% to 90% cocoa, which means it has lower sugar content and is packed with health-boosting properties. Dark chocolate is a rich source of antioxidants, which help combat oxidative stress in the body. These compounds have been linked to numerous health benefits, including reduced blood pressure and bad cholesterol levels, as well as improved blood flow to the brain. For older adults, this is particularly beneficial because it may help prevent neurodegenerative diseases such as Alzheimer's. Research conducted by Italian scientists also found that dark chocolate can improve sleep quality, which is a common struggle for many as they age. What's even more remarkable is that dark chocolate has been shown to improve vision in older adults. The flavonoids in dark chocolate can stimulate the brain to release endorphins, which help combat stress and anxiety, leaving you with a pleasant, happy feeling. It's not just about indulging in a sweet treat, it's about reaping the numerous benefits that come with consuming dark chocolate in moderation. Vitamin D supplementation is another powerful tool in the fight for better health and longevity. This sunshine vitamin plays a crucial role in numerous bodily functions, including calcium absorption, bone health, immune function, and muscle strength. Unfortunately, many older adults suffer from vitamin D deficiency, which can lead to weak bones, joint pain, muscle fatigue, and increased susceptibility to infections. A study conducted in 2017 with over 5,600 older adults showed that vitamin D supplementation not only improved physical health, but also had a positive effect on mental health. Those who took vitamin D reported feeling less lonely and depressed, and they experienced better sleep. By improving sleep and mood, vitamin D directly contributes to a higher quality of life, which is essential for aging gracefully. Additionally, vitamin D can lower the risk of certain cancers and infections, and it works synergistically with omega-3 fatty acids found in foods like salmon and eggs to improve absorption and maximize its benefit. As we age, taking vitamin D becomes even more vital, allowing us to protect our bones, support our immune system, and foster mental well-being. For those over 65, here are 2 more habits that can help you live a longer, healthier life. First, use your brain more. As we age, the brain naturally changes, and Alzheimer's disease or dementia becomes a concern for many. But just as we exercise our bodies, it's essential to keep our minds active. Studies have shown that keeping the brain engaged can slow down the aging process of the brain. Activities like solving puzzles, reading books, learning new languages, or participating in intellectual hobbies can keep the brain sharp and help prevent cognitive decline. The more you use your brain, the more resilient it becomes, improving both mental and emotional health. Regularly challenging the mind is a fantastic way to ensure longevity and preserve cognitive function. Finally, maintain social relationships. Loneliness is one of the most significant risks to both physical and mental health as we age. It can have devastating effects on overall well-being, leading to depression, anxiety, and even physical health problems. Positive, loving relationships are crucial for aging well. Staying connected with family and friends not only enhances happiness, but also fosters a sense of purpose and belonging. Studies consistently show that individuals with strong social connections live longer and are healthier. These relationships provide emotional support, decrease stress levels, and encourage a more positive mindset, all of which contribute to better health outcomes. For older adults, prioritizing meaningful social interactions is just as important as any physical habit. In conclusion, living a long and healthy life after 65 is not just about longevity. It's about making intentional choices that promote well-being. Regular exercise, proper nutrition, mental stimulation, and meaningful relationships are the keys to thriving in your later years. By embracing these habits, you can ensure that your golden years are truly golden, full of health, happiness, and vitality. Thank you for joining me on this insightful journey into how we can embrace health, happiness, and longevity in our later years. We've explored some powerful habits, from regular, moderate exercise and enjoying the benefits of dark chocolate, to maintaining a positive mindset and fostering strong social relationships. All of these habits are designed to help us age gracefully and live life to the fullest, no matter our age. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What have you learned so far from this video? What is one thing that stood out to you and that you plan to bring into your own life? Please leave a comment below and share your thoughts. If you like this video, please leave your comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Your support helps us create more meaningful content to inspire and empower others. Thank you for being a part of our community.